What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, and old hate. So, look, Saturday was a busy day. I had a lot of fun Saturday. Had to go out and take care of what I, had to, and had to come back and look at a lot of fights late. Ah, ah. Had to come back and look at a lot of fights late, which I did, and I didn't want to hear anything about what happened because I didn't want anybody to spoil, anything that happened. Um, of course, y'all know, Saturday was Halloween, so like I said, man, I had a lot of fun. Went out, hung out with some good people, my family, and all of that, and had a great time. But the one fight that I will make a mention of right now, definitely is Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz, man, great fight. Um, Basically, it was a solid fight. They both did what you normally see them do. Um, Leo Santa Cruz, let me say this for the people that starts, it's just something about when a person loses a fight, people love to just, oh, he ain't shit, oh, he's overrated. Look, Leo Santa Cruz is a solid fighter. Don't try to discredit him just so you can take credit away from what Tank did. Okay, the one fighter that everybody was matching up with Tank was Lomachenko, and everybody was saying that Lomachenko would kill Tank. Tank didn't want to fight him. Tank was ducking. Nobody thought that my man uh, had just beat Lomachenko. Nobody thought that he went. Nobody thought that he went against Tank. I mean against Lomachenko. So when it happens, it's like, oh shit, that wasn't supposed to happen. So now they feel like, well, before that happens, well, a fight with Tank and Lomachenko. That Lomachenko needs to get his revenge back, right? So they're not talking about that fight right now. So now the young lions that's out there, that's the Haneys and all these other guys, the Garcias, the Camels, even though Rolly Romero was not, people are not putting him in that same sentence with these guys, and I understand that. I understand why they're not. Even though they're all in the same age group, because skill-wise, he still needs a lot of improvement. But still he's there. But yeah, don't try to take credit away. When Leo Santa Cruz, we knew that that was the fight for Tank. Everybody was, yo, this is gonna be a good fight. Yeah, yeah. All right, finally Tank is stepping up. I mean, finally stepping up. I mean, yes, you know, we all been saying, okay, as far as him stepping up in competition, that's how you move your fighter. You don't just throw your fighter to the wolves, man. They got to get there. And, you see the progression. That's how you get to those fights that you want to see. You don't just throw a fighter in there just because people are saying he should be in there. I believe at this stage, Tank is ready for anybody. But that fight was a good fight. It was a solid fight. And what was funny? As soon as before Tank hit him with that uppercut, Leo Santa Cruz is backing up, throwing the right and the left, throwing the jab in the right hand, and he's trying to keep space. And the commentator was saying, if Tank Davis thought that Leo came to lay down, as soon as he said that, BAM! Got him out of there with the uppercut. Folded him. And I've been saying Tank's power is serious. Now, we knew he got power. And now, for me, this is just me. What I see as a showdown, well, there's several fights that can be showdowns. But in all honesty, I believe that it's going to come down to Devin Haney and Tank Davis as undefeated fighters, unless they make that fight before either one of those fight the other guys that eliminate, the other top guys. I think that the final two, like that big fight before they can go and start fighting new challengers to, like, from the people we already know that's here. I think that the big showdown is going to be Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis. And that's if Haney stays at 135, because he was talking about going to 140. But I think if he can get a fight with Tank and any of those guys with the names like that, that he would I think he would do that then. But yeah, I mean, it was a great fight, man. You can't take nothing away from Leo Santa Cruz. They both came. They was fighting, bro. He did what he had. Look, the man did what he had to do. He did the best he could do that night. Tank came out the winner. Simple as that. I'm not going to shit on either fighter for no reason. Everybody always want to, but I seen this and that guy, and I saw this to the point where they're just trying to take credit away, and that's just not necessary. You know, if you're gonna be a boxing fan, then be a boxing fan. You know, but don't just sit up here looking for shit to hate on because you don't like a guy. I don't get in that. Y'all can have that bullshit. Another fight that I will talk about too, and these are the two main fights that I wanted to see, and I did it. Usyk versus Chisora. Now let me say this. The big mystery that everybody had about Usyk was, could he take a shot from Chisora? Okay, because we know he fought at heavyweight before. You know, I remember that, and I remember, you know, the fact that Usyk brought it up, where people were saying, yeah, but we didn't really know those guys like that, and this, and I don't think Joe Joyce is that good, and then all this other stuff they were saying. I don't think anybody who understands boxing thought Usyk was just going to try to stand there. I mean, he said it himself. He's not going to just stand there in front of Derek Chisora. Why would he? I mean, is the object to try to win the fight or try to give your opponent the best possible advantage he has to win the fight? So when I saw the fight, it was the way I pictured it: him moving a whole lot, Derek Chisora coming in trying to keep the pressure on. But one thing that I noticed, Derek Chisora, he's slowed down a lot on his feet and his hands. Oh my, his punches was so slow, man, so slow. He still has power on him, but the speed is gone. He's not the same guy that fought Dillian White. You know, the last fight that he had after Dillian White, I forgot who he fought. Was it Duhampas? One of those guys, whoever it was. Yeah, I mean, he looked so slow, man, so slow. And you know, David Hay was saying a lot of things about this is the first time Derek has really been in shape and really, you remember, that's what the exact same things he said when he fought Dillian White in the rematch. The exact same things. He's in the best shape of his life. This is the first time David Hayes is a promoter now, so he's trying to sell a fight. But you know, I happen to remember. Y'all watch it. Go back and watch the build up. David Hay was saying the same exact things, right? So I was kind of laughing because I saw those things anyway before the fight, of course. But you know, and of course, if y'all saw the press conference when Chisora came out with his body painted like a ghost and all that, and all, you know, that was pretty funny, man. You know, Chisora walks up and he's talking to Usyk, who's looking at him like, what the fuck am I standing in front of? But yeah, it was what I expected. Now, Derek Chisora felt like he won the fight. I don't feel like you win a fight just because you're coming forward. Okay? That does not make you win a fight. However, what I will say, he was landing a lot of solid, clean body shots on Usyk, and for some reason, it's like the judges really, unless a body shot folds you over, even if you don't fall, but like really folds you or make you, do some kind of weird movement where they can see like it's affecting you, it's like they don't pay attention to body shots. You know, he felt like he won the fight. Usyk did what he had to do, but I still stick to my guns about what I said. I don't think he beats Anthony Joshua. I don't think he beats Tyson Fury. I don't think Usyk. Now, Usyk can outbox Deontay Wilder. He definitely can outbox Deontay Wilder. I don't know what Deontay is even going to look like now since he hasn't fought since the last fight with Fury. It's been a while. Who knows what's going to happen? The thing is, they're close in age because I think Usyk is 34 now, and Wilder just turned 35. So it won't be no thing where there's a young guy in there against an Asian fighter. So, he can outbox Deontay Wilder. He showed he has a chin. He can take a punch. Now, the thing is, Chisora wasn't able to land combinations. He's only able to land one shot at a time. And he saw he can take a bomb. Okay. In terms of body weight, I don't think that it really suits Usyk to try to gain weight. Because one thing people misunderstand, body weight doesn't give you more punching power. And in fact, a guy like Usyk, who's a mover, who's going to need that, whatever the weight that he came in, that's what he needs to keep. What he lacks, he wasn't a big puncher at cruiserweight. So you know he's not going to come to the heavyweights and all of a sudden he's a big puncher. We saw the same thing happen with James Toney. Only James Toney doesn't move like Usyk. James Toney is more inside slip, Houdini type shit in the pocket, make you miss and make you pay. But he didn't have devastating power. Now, as a small guy, yeah, it was easier for James Toney to knock out a middleweight, of course. Look at his cruiserweight record. The majority of his knockouts was at middleweight, not cruiserweight, not heavyweight. So, same with Usyk. Holyfield, it was different. Holyfield is, him and Usyk is different. Holyfield was more like a pit bull. Holyfield could fight on the back foot. He could dance and move. He could stand in front of you and trade. Usyk is not that kind of fighter. Usyk is a mover. He's not going to stand there and bang with you. He can when it's not a size difference. It's not so much a big difference with power and speed. As a heavyweight, it's going to be different. That advantage is going to be taken away from him. Or should I say that even that level playing field of being that, he's a much smaller guy. I mean, Usyk looked so small in there with Davis Chisora. He looked tiny, man. He looked like a cruiserweight still. But it's not about him bulking up. It's going to, for him, the way he fights and moves, that weight will slow him down. And the fact that he's not a devastating puncher, he needs to be able to fight how he's doing, which is move. Uses, what he was doing against Derek Chisora, whenever Derek Chisora would throw something and he doesn't have anything coming back. And then that's when Usyk would start loading up. A couple of times he did that. That's what he was doing. And otherwise, he was just stick and move. And that's what he had to do. He knows that one of those big shots from Chisora could have got him out of there. So against somebody like Wilder, who's not a big guy, he actually be more comfortable. And what people got to understand about punching power is guys get hit flush most of the time because they're not moving, or they move into the shot, or they're just right there open, and they're just getting clipped. Usyk showed a solid chin. Deontay throws one punch at a time. Chisora was only, able to land one punch at a time. He was so slow. Man, he was slow. Like, it was that noticeable. Like, wow, what the hell? He was so slow. Fury, too big, too much reach, too much weight, hand speed, and can box. Same thing with AJ. In my opinion, he doesn't beat either one of them. He doesn't beat Daniel Dubois. Of course, he wants to jump right in there with AJ, and people are looking at this like it's a big, big fight. In the event that fight gets jeopardized because either one of them loses to somebody, then it's not the same thing anymore. But let's say AJ gets past Pulev, which I think he should, and then that was his next mandatory. Then that's the fight that we'll get. I think AJ beats him. I think because look, Usyk has to hit and move. He can't stand there with AJ. Okay, he can't. He doesn't have enough power. That's the one thing I saw, and one thing I didn't expect was that he's going to go to heavyweight and all of a sudden he's throwing bombs. So I'm not shocked at that at all. I said so many videos ago, I don't see him beating any of the top three or the top four, because I put Daniel Dubois in there as well. And for people that's like, oh, but Daniel Dubois, he didn't have it. No, he has more fights than Usyk, or as many as Usyk. Yeah. So stop, man. I mean, your opinion is your opinion, but you guys keep talking about Daniel Dubois like he's 5-0. No, Daniel Dubois is ready, man. You guys are sleeping on that guy. But Daniel Dubois packs some serious power. He has good speed, not great speed, but has good speed, serious power. He throws punches with bad intentions, and I think he knocks Usyk the fuck out. I don't care about what Max Kellerman or Teddy Atlas or Stephen A. or whoever. I don't care what the fuck they say. They've been wrong so many times, saying the opposite of what I've been saying. I'm going with my hunch. And from what I see, I think Daniel Dubois knocks Alexander Usyk out. And he better get on his toes and dance against Daniel Dubois. Because too much, man. Too much power. Just too much everything. And so the way Usyk is fighting, people are talking a lot about he got to gain some weight. No, man, no. Without his power increasing, that weight will just hurt. It will hurt him. The best thing he has going for him is to be elusive, so he can get his shots, get in, get out. That's what he's gonna have to do. The problem with Usyk right now is his age, because when he gets to unless he can pull a Manny Pacquiao, right? Because a lot of fighters, when wear and tear on your body, man, and years go by, and a lot of times what happens is those the reflexes. You seen what happened with Roy Jones, Ali, like when those guys that move a lot get to the point where they can't do it anymore. Now you have to fight more. You have to engage more than what you're used to, and then it's like they can't do it with these big guys. Ali, he learned like, damn, I can stand and bang with these motherfuckers. Okay. Ali always had heart, and I'm not going to say he learned it. He knew he could. He just basically, I feel like his confidence, he was more confident to do it because he knew he couldn't dance like he used to. When Ali got to that point where he couldn't dance no more, he was just dance here and there, and the crowd would go crazy because they didn't see it, as often as they used to. When Ali had to sit down on his punches more and fight and not move as much, you know, um, we saw that he could do it with the elite. That's what I mean with the elite guys. Roy Jones and Ali never been knocked out. Roy Jones was not the same after he got knocked out. He couldn't take a punch the same way after that. So with as far as the elite guys, no, Roy couldn't do it anymore. You know, Evander Holyfield, he's a guy that came up and was like he would hit guys with shots and people would, it was noticeable how he was hitting guys with bombs and they wouldn't go down. But he started knocking people out. His body started to become more accustomed to that weight. And Holyfield never came in 225, 230, nothing like that. He was like 206. If I'm correct, I think the most Holyfield weight in the fight was 217 and a half or something like that. But when I watch Usyk, as long as he can hit and move, he can box, get in, get his shots in, get out, that's what he's going to need in the heavyweight division. The same way he fought, the same exact way he did as a cruiserweight. Nothing different. Only, like I said, he could engage more with the cruiserweights simply because they wasn't so much. He didn't have to worry about the size difference and all that. But with these guys, and if you didn't see the fight, when you do, even just look how big Derek Chisora is to him. I mean, he looks huge next to Usyk. So you can see it at the weigh-in anyway. But in that ring, it was just like wow. Just the two of them. You didn't have all space with. Not that it was such a huge stage, but just he just looks so much bigger. But again, at the press conference you can see it. So same thing. So that's what he's going to need. When Roy Jones fought John Ruiz, he's only 199 pounds. He wasn't even 200, 199 pounds. So Roy didn't beat him by standing there trading with him. It was a couple of times he stood in the pocket with him, and but for the most part, he used his movement, used his speed. Much shorter than John Ruiz, shorter reach, but faster. Sharper reflexes, sharp on the foot, was using the referee. Every time the ref would break them, Roy would walk behind the ref, get space, catch Ruiz coming in, get out. I mean, his ring IQ, he had it all. And Usyk is a sharp, smart fighter. So he's doing what he had to. So for the people that's like, oh, but he ran. No, man, he got in there. He did what he had to do. Pause. He did what he had to do. And that was that. So, it's not, nothing to shoot the guys down about. Just being honest about what I saw. Like I said, Chisora looked so slow. He won the fight, but don't mistake him beating Chisora for him beating, Deontay Wilder. Or with Deontay, he can outbox Deontay. But we also like the right hand. If Usyk is moving like he should, Deontay might not be able to land that right hand flush. You know what I mean with the movement and all. So with Deontay, I'm kind of on the fence. Like what, he might beat Usyk might beat Wilder. He might if he can avoid the right hand because that's all Wilder has. If he can avoid the right hand. Does he beat a Dillian White? I don't know. Because he's going to have to hit and move against Dillian White as well. Okay? He doesn't have Povetkin's punching power. Usyk is an accumulation of punches landing. He's not a huge puncher. But I will say the one thing that you got to give Usyk as well, too, is his conditioning. And that is what he's going to definitely need because he's going to have to be able to move. He's not going to be able to stand with these big guys um, and bang with them. He's not. He's not going to be able to do that, and he doesn't have the power. You know, when you're hitting a guy, and it's like, but he hits you, and it's like, you know, you got way more to lose because it's like, oh shit, okay, this motherfucker's smiling at me when I hit him, but he's hitting me, he's moving me, and I'm feeling these punches. So, you know, but yeah, people are talking about Usyk is only going to get better, or you know, he's gonna have to do this and this, but at his age, I still don't. I think as far as the technique, the movement, all of that more than anything else, because I mean, what is he going to do? He's going to just start packing more power. So he's going to have to fight the way he's been fighting, and using his jab, keeping that distance, like he was doing. Um, and the thing is, he had trouble with Derek Chisora. Don't get it twisted. And Derek Chisora is slow. And now, if you compare him to like a Dillian White, uh, we know Dillian White's not going to back up. He's going to come forward. Only thing with Dillian, me looking at that, just comparing those two, I think Dillian has a problem with movement. I don't think Dylan like when his opponents move. He like for him to stand right there because he always emphasized that, and that's the tactic that a fighter uses when they want you to not do something in their fight. Because you know, like if a fighter says, "Oh, go ahead and run," I know you're gonna run. They don't want you to move. They want you to make it easier for them because they don't know how to cut off a ring. Dylan has never showed that he can cut a ring off. Dylan's really not a brawler. He brawls, but he's like more like a boxer puncher. Um, he can outpoint Dillian White. And if he fights with that movement, I just see Dylan trying to catch up to him, And if stylistically, I think Usyk can pull off the win against Dylan. And I think Dylan has to knock him out to win. I don't think Dylan outbox Usyk. I just think Fury and Wild and AJ. I just think they just have too much arsenal in their arsenal. That overall, well, no matter how soon or how late it comes, I just think both of them beat Usyk. And I'm not saying that Dylan can't beat Usyk. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is I think Dylan has to knock him out. I don't think Dylan can outbox Usyk. I think he has to knock Usyk out. And I think it's easier said than done. He has to catch him. He has to catch him. The thing with Dylan too, I mean, even like when I watched him against Povetkin, it's like Dylan doesn't fight with a lot of explosiveness. You know, he throws hard, good body shots. He dig to the body nice. Dylan can fight. But I get my hunt the same way how I felt about Lomachenko fight. I get that feeling when I'm looking at them two. Like, I'm I know Dylan has the power, and Dylan can box. He can box, but I think Usyk movement. I just think stylistically, Usyk's movement bothers him, and keeping that distance in that range. I just think it bothers him. And Dylan has never showed us he knows how to cut off a ring. He's not a hunter. He's kind of more, he stands there and wait for you to come and fall into a trap, catch you sleeping. And Dylan fights everybody the same fucking way. Usyk fights everybody the same fucking way. So basically, I lean towards Usyk in that fight. Just because of the movement. I just think the movement bothers Dylan. The reach, the jab, and all that. And when he throws his shots, I don't see Dylan being able to like land combinations. Dylan's another guy that throws one punch at a time. And when he does dig to the body and he comes upstairs, he'll throw two to the body and one up top. He doesn't put combinations together. So stylistically is what I'm looking at with that. And he can, you know, took bombs from Chisora. So I'm just saying, I go with Usyk over Dillian White. I'm not sure about him and Wilder. I know he can outbox Wilder, like I said, but it's just if he can the right hand. That's all. So you know, just the right hand. So if Wilder was to win, it would be that right hand. So it's kind of I'm kind of on that. I'm kind of like I'm going with Usyk in that because Usyk is definitely a better fighter than Duhaupas. He's better than Gerald Washington. He's better than all these other guys that was actually winning on the scorecards against Wilder. You know, and that doesn't mean that the same shit can't like Wilder. He can definitely, if he can land that right hand flush, he can get him out of there. Maybe, I don't know. Usyk has a chin though. Well, I don't know, but that's Deontay's bread and butter. And as far as any other heavyweight, Oscar Rivas, who else? You got Charles Martin. There's fights I don't see them putting Usyk in because it's a danger to him. Any of those guys, because of their size alone, it's possible, and he goes to sleep. So I believe that he won't fight anybody else until after AJ and Pulev. Like I said, should AJ get past Pulev, and I think he should. I think that'll be the next fight for Usyk. I think because he's AJ's mandatory, so that will be the next fight. So we what happens? They fight and then he loses. Does he stay a heavyweight? Does he go down to cruiserweight? Does he do the super cruiserweight thing? We don't know. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say in this video, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. And remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video. Eric Davies, cheers to all my British family. Cheers to all my family. Cheers. Salute.